Victory Lives with Nicole Elizabeth Squires, only on LA Talk Radio.
Well, welcome this evening to the Recovery Switch. Thank you for joining us. We have a great show today. We're talking about purpose, vision, and planning. Today I wanted to talk about this subject because I've been counseling a few people recently that feel stagnant, that doesn't know how to go forward. They feel lost and empty and walking around aimlessly, not knowing what their purpose is, how to find their purpose, and just knowing the process to success. So today we're going to talk about it. It's going to be a one-on-one, 101 class on this subject. I hope it helps you. I hope it gives you revelation. No one in this earth is brought into this earth without purpose. We have purpose for every one of us have purpose for our life and a journey in which we're supposed to go about it. My prayer every day is that I do not die. God, please don't let me die without accomplishing your purpose and what I'm brought in this earth to do.
True.
It's an important thing because, you know, if you go through life just aimlessly unhappy and it's just not a thing, but you know you did something and it was amazing. That's what we need to do. So let's get started in the whole process. Now, to find your purpose, what you have to do is, I would say the first step in finding your purpose is sitting still. Finding a place in your house, or some people like the beach or whatever, where you sit still. Sit still and find out what that small voice is in your heart. And then from there, once you have gotten rid of the chatter of your past, the chatter of your pain, the things that have obsessed your mind for years as from childhood, you get rid of it all and then really start to get to that place inside of you that you know, okay, I'm feeling a place of peace. And that place of peace is where you will find the Holy Spirit. And God said he will send us a comforter. And that comforter is to give us guidance and let us know what we're supposed to do. So that's where you'll find that small voice. When you find the small voice now, I would like you to go back to your childhood. Remember what you liked as a child, or what you wanted to do, and what you wanted to really feel, you know, you thought about all the time as a child. You know, some people have different things. They sang a lot. There were kids who pushing around vacuum cleaners. You know, it doesn't matter. Whatever you were doing as a child that just made you happy. Then as a teenager, what did you like to do? What did you dream? Because we evolve. We evolve because we don't know. Some people get it right away, but not everybody. So we evolved. And then as an adult, you have to stop and think, this is what I'm going to do, even if I don't have money. You know, it makes me happy. I find peace in it. It makes me smile. I know I'm going to help somebody. I know I'm going to do something great with this. And it sticks inside of you. But you find that peace, you know, the peace that says, I don't care if I'm not making money. I'm going to do this anyway because I love it.
That's
you
right.
know?
That's right.
You've been there, right?
I've been there. I know what that feels like, you know.
Exactly. And it's like, I know my purpose is how it's been counseling and helping and making a difference. I have a spirit inside of me that is resilient, is determined. God has put me through a lot. I'm not going to say you're not going to go through things. I'm not going to say there are not going to be some horrific things in it. But in that, you can take that and use it towards the purpose that you are supposed to be in. So as you find your purpose, now that you know your purpose, now I would like you to, you know, really stop and say, now how do I accomplish this purpose? Because God said in Jeremiah 29:11 that he knows the plans he has for you. He has plans to prosper you and to give you a hope in the future. So let's say that again. God knows the plans he has for you. So that means he brought you in here with a purpose and a plan. So he knows the plans he has for you, plans to prosper you and give you a hope and a future. You can't have hope without peace. You can't have hope without money.
And make room for your gifts.
Yeah, he will do that.
Yes, he'll
He
do
will
that.
definitely, he says, a man make it room for his gifts, and it will give, and will give you the ability to prosper and bring you before great men.
Right.
And that's what we have if we walk right. So let's start with the vision. In the vision, you have to get to a point where you realize you have to write your vision down. Now, some people are like, oh gosh, I got to write the vision down. They're always talking about it. But hold up, wait a minute. Let me explain to you why you have to write the vision down. Picture you're driving in a car in the dark night, and you're driving and it's pitch black. Until you turn on those headlights, you may be driving and you'll turn down the wrong street. You may even drive off a cliff if you don't have headlights. So when you write your vision, it makes you focus. It makes you turn on the headlights and the vision becomes real. It makes you go down in a way that you are heading in the right direction and it's clear. If you don't write the vision, you'll be all over the place. There's no light, there's no focus. You have to know and write it down. And it's important. And let me explain something to you. You cannot be lazy with yourself.
No.
Your dreams and your purpose, you cannot be lazy with. There's no time for laziness. There's no time. As my kids were growing up, I embedded in their head, there is no such thing as can't. I don't want it coming out your mouth. If they come up to me and say, Mom, I can't what? No, there's no such thing as can't. Because God is amazing. He will give you, nothing he does has limits. Nothing he does is not of greatness. So if you're going to make yourself less than what you're supposed to be, that is unacceptable. You're supposed to go ahead and walk in a way that is victorious in everything that you do. So you write the vision. You write the vision and you make it plain, like the Bible says. So in that you're writing the vision down, think about the different things that you have to do. Okay?
Yeah.
Like first thing in your vision, and you realize, okay, you have purpose, right?
Right.
And you start to write down, okay, this is what I think I'm going to do. And your vision evolves. The writing evolves. People who know a lot about business plans may be able to relate to it a lot, but people who do not know a lot about business plans and different things, they will be like, oh my gosh, but let me tell you, when you start to pray and you start to get to a point where you say, God, show me, give me wisdom and discernment so I can know what you're showing me, what you're telling me. I know I'm supposed to do this, but where am I supposed to go? How am I going to do this? How big? And sometimes, he shows you a dream so big, you're like, oh. You get scared because you're like, really? You want me to do this? Oh, okay. And the thing is, you have to get to a point where I tell anybody who I'm counseling, I said, look, do everything in silence. You know why? I don't believe in telling everybody about what I'm planning. I don't believe in telling everybody because everybody got an opinion. And that opinion may not line up with God and what God has told you. So you don't have to do it with you and God. You got sit up there, God told you to do something, go do it. But you don't have to go tell everyone, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, because I think execution is important. You don't have to tell everybody what you're doing.
No, sometimes when you tell everybody what you're doing, then they try to, shut your dreams down and, discourage you. So it's not always good to, tell everybody.
Exactly. Because
kind
some
of keep it to
people,
yourself.
yeah,
And just make moves.
because some people don't have an entrepreneurial spirit, or not. Some people don't know, couldn't even imagine to be an actor or a dancer or a singer,
Right.
or whatever it takes. And in their world, just going to work and punching a clock is the greatest thing in their life. But so they may not understand where God is taking you. God is taking you to a higher height that their understanding can comprehend. So what you need to do is basically walk in faith and step out and make movement. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a plan of action. And basically when you write the vision, the plan of action is like, oh, okay, I have to do all these things. How do I go about doing it?
Right.
So if you don't have a plan of action, you cannot execute it. So execution is everything. So there also, most people have a spirit that they end up failing or giving up when you get a plan of action. You cannot give up. The plan of action may take years.
True.
You can't, I'll say it again, you cannot give up on you. I'm going to say that several times through the night because I've been facing so many people I'm counseling these days are just giving up.
Yeah.
Just giving up.
Can't give up, and you have to, walk by faith and not by sight. When you're, walking in your gift, working on your gift, you just have to keep the faith and walk in that and not what's in front of you. And you'll see things will turn around and you will reach higher heights,
Yeah, so true, so true. And it's so cliche. It's because everybody's like, walk by faith, not by sight. But at the end of the day, the people who are the greatest people on this earth had to walk by faith and not by sight. When you give somebody $500 and they make an empire from that, you cannot tell me that they knew what they were doing. No, they walked by faith and they did not look at what was happening. They walked forward. So you made a plan. You didn't give up. Now you need to know what money you need to execute this plan, to make this plan happen. So, we all know, depending on if you're starting a business or you're even in the entertainment business or whatever you do, you need money. We all need some money. So to make sure you have money, you have to have a budget. And in that budget, you have to plan the process, lay it down on paper, budget-wise. Okay,
Right.
I know I need this amount. So you start to see what you make yourself for every day. And then you start to put, okay, I'm going to need this amount to get towards my goal. So I know these are just simple facts. I just want to make this really simple and direct for everybody so you can know how to do this. So you get a piece of paper, get a pen. You write down everything that you have for your bills and what you make at the top. And then on the right-hand side, where you have to go, what are you trying to do? So you say, okay, I don't make enough to make this goal and this dream come about. So guess what? You get a second job. You do what you have to do to not, we ain't robbing. We ain't doing none of that because God don't ordain that. So let's put that out there now. But
And there's nothing wrong with getting a second job if you have to.
yeah, you get a second job.
Do what you have to do.
And do what you have to do. And that job, your first job is for your living expenses, your bills and different things like that. Your second job is towards your goal. It's towards your plan. It's towards your purpose. And do it with excellence. Do it with joy. And make it something that that you're so focused on that you start to realize hanging out with friends becomes a second thought. the different things in life that are pulling money from you and not giving money into you becomes a second thought. The purpose is to be driven and focused on what you're doing, and that second job has a purpose. The second job is a part of the vision. Is you're not just doing it to just play around at night. You're doing it to make your dream come true. So get the second job and make it happen. So in that, we have, Chuck Mason. He's the sound guy, but a lot of people do not know who he is. He is Chuck Mason wet look. Basically, he's the detailer to the stars for 40 years. His clientele ranks the who's of who in the entertainment business. His business has been a successful, powerful business for many years, helping other people. But his passion were cars. So I'd like him to tell you his story of how he got to be the man of the cars and detailing. So
Yeah, I've had the passion for cars for so many years. It all started back when I was in high school. Didn't have a car at the time, and I would ride the bus to school. And the older teenagers that were, the kids from school that were a grade ahead of me or so, would sometimes see me at a bus stop, and they would pull over and take me to school. And they had the really nice cars, they were all fixed up, and so that kind of, gave me the bug to want to have a nice car and customize them, not knowing that was going to be my dream at 16. Wow, I mean, I had no idea that I was going to be bit by the car bug, and have this interest in cars the way I've had over the years.
mm-hmm.
And so didn't know anything about detailing. It happened through a neighbor of mine that worked at a Chevrolet dealership. And he would always come home, and he'd bring different products home, and he would show me, how to work, certain chemicals to make a finish really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I didn't take it too serious. It was more or less, and it was a passion, and it was more or less like a hobby, something that I enjoyed, cleaning cars and polishing them. Now, I couldn't afford a brand new car at the time, and so I had bought a used Z28 Camaro, which was black with the gold stripes on it. It was a 79, I believe. And the stripes are faded, and some of the paint was faded. And so couldn't afford a new paint job, but I had to use my skills that I had developed at an early age. And the guy that taught me, his name was Tommy. And I was able to bring back the shine on that Camaro. And even one of the places that I bought my supplies from, they couldn't believe what I've done to the car. When I brought it up there, they thought I had, took the time and did the paint correction by color sanding it with sandpaper and polishing it out. And the man that taught me, Tommy, I look at him as, a great teacher. I mean, he took me under his wing and showed me, and I had no idea that I was going to really like it,
Mm-hmm.
as much as I did.
Mm-hmm.
And one day he took a look at that Camaro, and he saw how beautiful I made the Camaro look. And he had been in the business on the side. He was never really a businessman. He just worked for dealerships, and this is just something he did on the side. And he said to me one day, he goes, "Chuck, I give credit when credit is due. You are a much better detailer than I am." And this man has been doing it for, like I said, at the time, 35, almost 40 years. Here I am. And he goes, "I'm much better than him." And he said that he goes, "Chuck, I'm the teacher and you are the master."
This is at 16?
At 16.
Wow.
And I had only been doing it less than a year or a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
I mean, so that was quite a compliment to get, from someone that's been doing it most of his life.
Right.
So
how did you move on from there? I mean, he gave you that compliment, but how did you become this man?
Well, I, didn't have a clientele at the time. I mean, I was just kind of dabbling in it and just had friends and did neighbors and family's cars and stuff as I was developing my skills. And so I had a full-time job. I was a janitor, and I worked for this janitorial service, and I had to clean 36 restrooms, bathrooms a night, the men's and the women. I took on a job to, to support. Well, this was a couple of years later, to support a family, and I.
You had your wife and your kids, right?
Yeah, my wife and kids, and I had to work in the evenings from 6:30 till 1 o'clock in the morning or so, and I mean, I took that experience of working in janitorial service because I was good. I mean, whatever
your passion to keep things clean and do extra. You did it with gladness. You did it unto God, like, I'm doing this with the best of my ability.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you still had your detailing that you was trying to build. You were still out there working as a detailer, trying to build up your clientele.
True.
And taking care. So you really had very little sleep.
Yeah. I mean,
and small babies.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I didn't get a chance to sleep a lot because I was a hustler. I worked, and
you wasn't a hustler in a bad way, like some people trying to get it quick. I've been fascinated with your story for a long time because I know people who try to get things quick and they do it the wrong way.
Yeah,
they do it the wrong way, and they're not willing to dig in and make things happen and go the long road.
Right.
They will do the shortcuts and if it's not happening, they'll go on to another. You never seen people who go on to one business and next business and the next business because
all the time.
they give up. But you didn't do. What was that in you? What was that made you just never do the wrong? Follow that wrong road. Right. Thank you.
Well, I guess it was just, my upbringing, my father, my mom and dad, the way they, brought me up. And I did live in some tough neighborhoods, growing up as a kid. And, I just stayed focused and, stayed in school. And, my dad taught me great work ethics, from young.
So you're born and raised in L.A.
In L.A.
Yeah, you've been raised in the jungle.
Yeah.
But your father was a teacher.
Yeah, and my dad was a teacher. He taught culinary arts.
So those things are part of the fundamentals of who the essence of who you are.
Right.
So he taught you ethics.
Yes, he did.
He taught you hard work.
Yes, he did.
Because he worked as culinary arts and then he did catering. So you had that background. So let's get back to the fact that you were working, taking care at night and doing detailing in the day. So what happened? How did it get to a point where it grows?
Well, like I said, I've been trying to, grow the business over the years. And it was until one evening I was working in Century City. And one of the high rises, cleaning the 36 bathrooms a night and 7 hours or so, I used to have nightmares. I did, You
did?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because, first of all, you have 36 bathrooms to clean. There is a crew there, that we have women there that are cleaning the offices. And then we have, guys that are taking care of the lobbies, waxing, buffing the floors and everything. And then there's two restroom guys, there was me, and then there was another guy I did the upper restrooms down to a certain level, and then he did the ones going down. And so you just didn't want to be stuck in a building, with everybody gone. And you're on a time schedule.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, once everybody's done, they're out of there. Right. And you can still be in those restrooms all night. So, But anyway, one night I was cleaning this restroom, and this guy came in. He was a lawyer, from one of the offices. And he looked over to me and he says, "Gosh," he goes, "You must sleep all day, from working here at night." And I said, "No, actually, I don't do that." I said, "During the day I work." He goes, "What? You work during the day?" I go, "Yeah, I work here at night, and during the day I work too." And he says, well, what do you do during the day? And I said, I told him I detail cars.
You had your own business.
And I told him I have my own business and I detail cars. And he said, that's great. He goes, well, it looks like you do a good job because just looking at this bathroom, it's spotless in there. So I imagine how are you on cars? And I said, I'm very good. So he asked me for a card, and at the time, I didn't have any cards. It was just something, like I said, on the side that I was trying to build. But he said, here, take my card. So he gave me his business card, and I gave him a call the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I want you to come over and take care of my new BMW. So I detailed this BMW. He came downstairs, and he was amazed with the finish that I put on his car. He was so amazed that he went back in and he told the other business partners, from the firm.
All the attorneys?
All the attorneys.
Mm.
And the next thing you know, the word soared over this 26-story building that we have a heck of a detailer down here on B level, doing cars.
Wow.
And so now that took me out of South Central because I had my few little customers in South Central that I was detailing for, the neighbors and stuff. And I've been longing for, the higher end cars. And so now that put me right there where the high end cars are. You're meeting that man in the bathroom.
Look at God.
Yeah, look at God.
That's all I can say is look at God. They see,
that's the story.
He didn't give up.
No.
He didn't give up. He was focused. This is my dream, but I have to take care of my family. I have to do whatever. I'm going to be a man and take care of my family. So he didn't give up with his dream. He kept on doing that during the day. He got a little sleep, but he was focused. He had the vision, and he was focused. And his plan was, I'm going to work at night, take care of my family, and then in the day, I'll detail. But let me tell you something. When God has a purpose for you, it could be right around the corner. It could be that attorney coming down to use the bathroom.
Who would ever thought the man that I met in the bathroom, changed my life that night?
Exactly. And that's literally, no pun intended from coming to America. It really happened to you.
That's so true. That's right.
I met a man in the bathroom.
I'm like, okay.
but no, fun aside. But technically, you do not know when that person that God is sending you. You have to be ready in season and out of season. And being ready is writing the vision and making a plan. Making that plan so clear and plain and be ready for it.
Yes.
Do not be scared. No. Do not give up. Do not be lazy about what you have to do. Because you never know when God meets you around the corner. And it happens time and time again. And let me tell you something. God has no limits for your life.
Nope.
Colonel Sanders was 40 years old before he started. So you have no limit. It doesn't matter what age it is. If you want to get up and stop being unhappy and stop being walking around aimlessly and you're dreading what every day of your life, you're in depression, get up, get focused, get your purpose in your life and start to work in it. Because you will never get happiness unless you're walking in what God has called you to do. You will never have happiness. So get focused. Get driven. Yeah. Get driven. So as his story, the lawyer so went and told everybody else. So sometimes God make it so sweet that he'll advertise for you. Because he was advertising for you. It's like, you guys have to try this guy.
Right.
And I mean, and it became so big, and you got from there, and then that lawyer is an entertainment lawyer. I mean, there were entertainment lawyers in there, and they told their client, and you went from there to what you said, studios.
Yeah, I met people, in the movie industry, and so I was able to detail for behind the scenes people, actors, directors. They all came into my circle, and it's just been great,
But
the word of mouth.
I didn't mean to cut you off, I'm sorry. But I wanted you to tell the story, though. of how you can basically underestimate God's limits for your life. So in that, the lawyers told everybody, and part of this building was Caesar's Palace, correct?
Right.
So you had Caesar's Palace is up there, and they're now calling on you. The big bosses for Caesar's Palace, they're off their other office in LA. Their big one is in Vegas, but the big boys wanted you to work with them, right?
True, yeah.
And everybody was bragging about you so
Right.
much, and you were doing such a fantastic job. Now they're coming on board to do. But what was the mistake you did?
Working.
I'll tell the story. What was the mistake how you priced yourself out? I mean, tell
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah, I was working for Caesar's World in Century City, and one of the drivers, that drives the executives around, had pulled me aside and said that they're thinking about not, going with the service anymore. And he goes, "It's nothing against you, Chuck." He says, your job is well. You do a good job." And I'm like, "Well, why would you? Why would they want to, discontinue the service if you're happy with the service?" And then he said to me, the reason why that they're pulling back is because I didn't charge enough. And I looked at him. "What do you mean I didn't charge enough?" And they told me that my prices were too low, too cheap. So if they're too low or too cheap, then you must not be confident of what you do. And that was pretty shocking.
That was a slap, and that was like
Yeah.
a 1-2 punch, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying
like,
to,
whoa.
give them a deal and, keep busy because I'm trying to grow the business. But yeah, they approached me and told me that that's a sign of that you're not confident in what you do. So.
And what a lesson to learn at a young age. You're in the 20s, right?
Yeah, my early 20s.
Early 20s. So what a lesson to learn that, don't underestimate what God is doing for you. Don't underestimate yourself.
Yes.
Put a value on yourself that is worth, you're worth your hire. Put a value, and don't waver on it. You know your worth.
True.
Be a little confident in yourself. Sometimes people say, "Oh, you're being too confident. You're being a little cocky." Well, you know what? I'm just confident that I know what I'm worth. Because if you don't, the people who are out there and ready to do stuff with you will watch you and say, "Oh, you're not," because you're pricing yourself out, or you're making yourself less than who you can be. When you walk into audition and they're asking you who you are, don't walk in timid. Walk in that you know who you are. Feel confident in who you are. Walk in and like singers. I have told singers, I've worked with a lot of singers over the years. And I always tell them, when you get on stage, people will watch you and see every emotion, everything, and they'll know when you're not confident. I said, take that mic and use every inch of that stage. Take command of the stage. Connect with the spirit that's in you and get out there, and do not let them see you sweat.
At all.
Never let them see you sweat. Walk out there and use every inch of the stage. It may be the first time you're on that stage. Hold that mic. Look someone directly in mind. If you cannot see the people that you're singing for, look over directly in the middle, over the stage, and keep your eyes in that, and everyone will think you're talking to them. You're singing to them.
Right.
Be confident. Do not. One of the most annoying things when I see people rent a square on a stage. That stage is for you. Know your worth. Get out there and do it. Make it happen. Make it happen. Stop being so timid. And now, everybody's like, "I'm being humble." No one wants to see that.
No.
I'm not going to pay for you to be humble. I'm paying for you to get down and do what you're supposed to be doing. That's what I'm paying for. So in that was a lesson. And I just want to let everyone know you can price yourself out.
Sure can.
You can price yourself out.
by being too cheap and or too low in price. And also, at the time I quit my job to do the detailing full time, didn't realize, what I was about to do. Because when I quit at the time that just so happened that that particular year we had an El Nino weather pattern.
Wow.
And so I went from a steady paycheck to like, oh wow, it's raining and it's raining every day.
And it's raining in your
And,
bank.
and the thing
Bank
about
account.
when there's an El Nino sometimes, when we have weeks and weeks of rain nonstop, like we've had in the 80s, it's, God is good. That's all I can say. God is good. And although I was just beginning to, start up a new clientele, he got me through. I made it,
With kids to raise.
With kids to raise and with, with some customers, canceling because of the storms that were coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But he got me through.
Wow. So what did it take inside of you to not give up and go back to doing a second job again? What did you do?
A lot of prayer. Just a lot of prayer and a lot of faith and just talking with people. And then I would try to, spoil my clients with excellence when I do their vehicles, that I get them so in love with the look of their car that the minute that it's not like that anymore due to a weather pattern or whatever, they're calling me. And they'll call me sometimes even on a rainy day and have me come out because they don't want to see their car look like that anymore. They want to keep that protection going.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So in that, one of the things I knew you did, and you still do to this day, is you do car shows. Now, car shows is great for everybody to go watch, but he has a purpose in his car shows. The purpose in having the car show, going to these car shows, is to advertise. Someone taught you years ago it's the cheapest way to advertise.
Yes, he did. A businessman pulled me aside and he goes, it's a cheap form of way to, put, to market yourself, through car shows, because it's only a few dollars to, to enter a car. And so with that, when I bought a nice car and I was able to get into the customizing of cars and trucks, basically I would put a car, in the show and, set up a display. If I had won prior trophies from, other shows, we'd have the trophies on display, signage, business cards. And the shine on the vehicle would be so amazing that when people would walk up, I can just basically take business cards and line it up in the window and just step back. And people would take one look at the car and peel off a card from the window, and they would call me. And that's how I was able to market and meet new customers.
So in that, my point of letting you know about marketing, and although it was weekends and some of it took him away from different things and family activities, his purpose in that was to market. So even in the entertainment business, we have to get out there and network.
Yeah.
And businesses, if you're starting a business, you have to get out there and network. So in the networking, make sure you have a plan in it. Don't just go to events and network and pour out money if there's not a plan. If you don't have your business cards, if you're not polished, you don't know what you're saying, you don't have a plan for your business, that if you meet the right person, they're like, well, let's send me a plan, and now you're working for the next 3 months trying to put this plan together when the plan should have been ready. Do not go networking until you're ready. Your look should be polished when you get up every day. Get yourself ready and polished. I don't care if you're going to the grocery store. Get your look together, get your feel together, because that is who you are. You are now a brand. You are now a look. You are now a feel that you don't know when God is going to send somebody your way. Be ready in season and out of season. So with the networking, have a plan in that. Have a purpose in that. I know for of talking to you in the past, you said that you tend to even buy your cars with a plan. You love cars, but every car that you buy, you make the car pay for itself. Say, I'm not going to just buy a car and not have it on display. He puts it in the shows, make his look new, different look, different feel, different types of shows require different cars. And you make the car sell the products, the product that you have, or the service that you have. And that's the point of the whole thing. Make everything you do have a purpose and have a plan within it. Do not just go out and do things wildly. Like, I'm going to start a business and I'm buying everything and everything. Make sure you're doing it with a vision and a plan and a purpose so that it can be done correctly. Think it out. Have wisdom. Know what you're doing. Know what you're saying. Know how you're going to look. Know every aspect of you, but do research so you're not doing things aimlessly. Make sure you have your research down. So when you open your mouth, the person who's in the business will not think you're stupid. And I know I'm being straight. Most of the people who know me out there, I'm very straightforward. I do not pull any punches with anybody. So I'm going to tell you like it is. Make sure your speech is well together before you open your mouth. That's why I say do everything in silence until you're ready. When you come out the starting gates and get ready for this race and everything that you do.
There you
Because
go.
because so many people come out and they're not prepared. And it really bugs me. It really bugs me because it's like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I'm like, for the last 2 years, I've been hearing about what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And I'm like, and you ain't did nothing.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
See, I'm a doer. There's a lot of people out there that just talk and, they don't take action. And, when I get ready to buy a vehicle, a dream vehicle or something I'm planning on putting together, I'll mention what type of car I want, and then to a couple of friends, and then they may not see me for a while, and then when they see me again, now I have the car, and then I'll tell them what I'm going to do to it next. It's like I have this vision already, that's just in my head how I want to put the vehicle together, and then they'll see me again, and one of my buddies he gave me a compliment. He goes, "Man, you have a gift here." He says, not only you said what you want, then you get it, and then once you get it, you tell me what you're going to do to it, and it is done exactly how you said it, like it's going to be. And he told me that I have a gift of putting vehicles together like that without, putting it on paper. I don't know, it's in my head.
Right, but you did it in silence and you executed it.
Yes.
You didn't sit around saying, I'm going to do something and don't do it.
No.
You're a person that have a plan.
Right.
You save up for it because it's not that you don't have the rich uncle.
No.
Or the rich auntie.
No.
You come up with your money and you make it happen.
True.
And you stick to it in every which way possible. And you definitely have a gift because there's no way you could be in business as long as you've been without being as good and the best that's out there. Right. And I've spoken to a couple of your clients who says it's you and the guy in New York that he classifies, because he does business around the world as the best in the country. Right. And I've seen you. People come up to you at car shows and because you're a black man, maybe you have a booth at the LA Auto Show and you're a black man and then people are like, that's what I'm saying. People are negative. They will say, "Oh, what'd you do? Steal these cars? Did you buy these cars with drugs?" And he's like, "No, I have this. This is my company and I own these cars and I bought them, with my business." So I'm confused where you're coming from, So these are the things you will get. You'll get negative people trying to stop you from what you have to do.
I remember them. Sometimes they would walk up to the booth and see the cars in the booth and get ready to take the card and walk away, and then or they'll see me, in the booth. and then all of a sudden they'll just put the card back down.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's that all about?
But you persevered anyway. Prejudice didn't bother you, and
No.
you never stopped.
No.
And I know you have clients that leave their house open for you and let you close up their house and everything when they're gone. They trust you so much.
Absolutely.
And with everything, so that's a lot to be said. So with everything, I want to hit home is have a purpose, know your purpose. Okay? Have a vision.
Yes.
Plan. Make sure the plan is clear. The vision is clear. The plan is clear. And have execution. Do it quietly until you can come out the starting gates with gangbusters and make it happen. Work hard, have determination. Do not be lazy with you and the purpose, because if you're lazy with the purpose that God has given you, you're lazy with God and His purpose for your life. His plan is you. True. So if you're lazy with you, you're lazy with Him. So no, you cannot be lazy with these things. I cannot reiterate that anymore. But before we get off the air, I want to play Abraham. He was our guest last week, and this is one of his other songs. We didn't get to play his other song too much, but this song we want to play because it's so inspirational. So we'll play Abraham's song.
Okay, let's do that.
Hey, oh, was at the end of my road, holding on for one more day. I couldn't see my way clear. Looked like my dreams had washed away. 'Cause I had given up hope, but I had one last chance, and I couldn't see the future, but what was in my past. Then a voice cried out, I know I heard the call, said trust, have faith, your time has come. Now I believe in me. It's taking time to build me up, but it's my will that keeps me strong. Now I believe in me. For every time that I gave up, something inside me gave me hope. Said that I would never win. Too many odds against me. Hey, an uphill battle and a strong wind. I'll never make it, never get in. I'm thinking how it's gonna work. My back's against the wall. Forgot who I was. Too busy looking at my flaws. Then a voice cried out. I know I heard the call. Said trust, have faith. Your time has come. Now I believe in me. It's taking time to build me up, but it's my will that keeps me strong. Now I believe in me. For every time that I gave up, something inside me gave me hope. Soar like an eagle, it's your time to fly. Nothing's impossible. Have faith, just try. Don't let them tell you you'll never win. Hold on to your dream and never give in. Believe. Say you believe. Say you believe. Speak to your dreams. Now I believe. I need.
Oh, yes, I believe. That song did everything to me.
Believe in yourself. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Believe in
Thank you,
yourself.
Abraham, for bringing that song.
Thank you, Abraham.
Everything. You've got to believe in yourself.
Yes.
If you don't believe in nothing else, believe in you. Oh, my
Please,
gosh, that
please.
song did it for me today.
Didn't it?
Yes.
It really did.
So
Believe.
thank
Do
you.
it.
Thank you for tuning in today.
Thank
And
you.
and Chuck Mason can be found at Chuck Mason Wet Look. If you want paint correction and
Yep.
detailing, he can always be found there. But he'll be found every week here with me, doing
Let me
my
know.
sound man,
That's right.
co-hosting. But I just want to thank you. I just want to let you know there is nothing impossible with God. You can do anything you put your mind to do. You are great. You are amazing. Just step out in faith and be focused, and you will make this happen. And next week, we'll have some more inspirational stories to tell you. So thank you again for tuning in tonight, and God bless.
God bless.
You're listening to The Recovery Switch, where victory lives, with Nicole Elizabeth Squires, only on LA Talk Radio.